Final Girl is my favorite solo board game, sharing the top spot with its sibling Hostage Negotiator. Final Girl is named after a horror film trope. It refers to the last girl left alive to confront the killer. Ideally, she'd beat the killer and survive to tell the story. Here you play that titular Final Girl in her desperate fight for survival. I've been playing Final Girl for about a year with the core box and 2 feature film boxes, and I loved it. So I decided to treat myself to an upgrade. Let's have a look. This is the ultimate box for Series 1 and contains all the content there is for the entire Series 1. The first thing you need is the core box. It includes the rulebook, player board, your basic set of action cards, meeples, tokens and dice. But the core box alone isn't enough to play. You also need at least one so-called feature film box. Each series consists of 5 feature film boxes, each containing a killer, a location and 2 final girls. The front and back of each box come off and serve as the killer and location boards. And the cool thing about this game is that you can mix and match whichever you want, so the more boxes you have, the more possible combinations you can play. The ultimate box also includes the miniatures for killer and vehicles already filled into the boxes. If you buy a box at retail, then these compartments are just gonna be empty. They do this to torture people with OCD. Leave an obvious spot for components and then don't include them. Furthermore, make them expensive and hard to get. Bastards. You also get these flimsy bits of paper with special rules that you must not lose. And that's all you need to play a whole lot of games. The rest is fluff. But some of it is nice fluff. I'm a big fan of playmats. And these ones are of good quality. The printing is clear enough, they have a good feel and stitched edges should all but guarantee they'll last you for a long time. The cast and crew box holds miniatures for all final girls and gives you a spot where you can store all final girl cards and their secret envelopes. You earn the right to open a final girl's envelope the first time you win a game with her. It contains a special item or ability that you can now include in future games. Is the game more fun with miniatures? Nah, it's perfectly fine with meeples. Maybe it's a bit easier to distinguish victims from killer and girl if you use miniatures, but not by much. But I like painting miniatures, so I'm looking forward to that. This box also holds the vignette expansion of the series. Essentially, a smaller expansion that contains a special kind of killer, but no location. Series 1 takes inspiration from the birds for its vignette. The bonus features box contains a lot of little booklets. There's one that combines all the special rules for all the killers and locations, so that's good. Now we can toss the loose bits of paper I was complaining about earlier. The lore and scenarios booklet contains a bit of text about each killer and a bunch of scenarios that you can play. Think Girl X with Killer Y at location Z with these special rules added. As far as I can tell, a lot of the scenarios are modeled after films, just in case you didn't have enough ways to play yet. And then there's the gruesome deaths booklet for each location. Whenever a victim dies or you die, you can look up the circumstances, roll a die and read what horrible thing happened. You don't really need this. The things you make up in your head as you play are probably just as good, if not better. Now let's also unbox Series 2. A lot more stuff. 5 more feature film boxes, so in total that makes 12 killers and 10 locations, which means 120 different combinations. Little Red Riding Hood against the poltergeist on a spaceship? Let's go! We also get more game mats, another 2 with slightly updated designs. If I counted correctly, then we now have too many game mats. Another cast and crew box with miniatures and a vignette for Season 2. More booklets in the bonus features box. And what about this space where Series 1 has the core box? It holds this sad little collection of mostly unnecessary things. In my opinion, the upgraded components look worse than the normal ones. The default hourglass fits right on the symbol. Why would I want this thing that rolls away whenever I knock it over? The deluxe final health tokens are nice, but at least 3 times thicker than they needed to be. But I do like having even more final girls, and the signature action cards are an interesting touch. The Desperation die is also a fun addition. You're allowed to use it only once per game. It has 5 good sides and 1 side that makes you lose the game immediately. Quite a risk. But sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. And desperate times are guaranteed in Final Girl. Ultimate dice, I don't really need them. Book of Desperate Deaths, it's alright. I know I said I don't like to use the gruesome deaths booklets. That's because I think looking up deaths of victims during a game breaks the flow. And I like using my head, so as the game progresses I develop a story in my head anyways. But it's a different story when the game ends. Looking up how the final girl died feels more like a last official step in the procedure of playing the game, you know? I just wish there was also a booklet with paragraphs to read for the rare times when I actually win. Because there, the killer is just gone and then I have to sort all the components back into the various boxes? Feels somewhat anticlimactic. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm not against using my head, so I'll just have to fill that bit in myself as well. And that's it. It all looks great, and it's fun to handle all the boxes with the magnetic lids and the bits and pieces. But does it have to be this big? How much space would you really need to store all the content? The components in a feature film box would easily fit into a fraction of the space of their box. I bet the entire series would have easily fit into a normal sized board game box with a plastic insert to sort everything into. But it is a really nice collection of boxes. It manages to stand out and I'm really happy I have it in my collection. Yes, Final Girl is great. But should you buy the Ultimate Collection? If you're new to the game, I don't think you should. Get the core box and Hans the Butcher at Camp Happy Trails and play that for a while. It's the most straightforward box, no special rules needed, just play plain stock Final Girl and have a great time. The game provides enough variation for you to be perfectly happy with just this forever. If you eventually want to add a bit of variation, get a second feature film box. For example, if you're a big fan of the Alien films, get the Evomorph box. If you're still as excited after that and have the money to burn, then go for it and enjoy the luxury of having too much content to realistically ever get through. I'm a fan of investing my money into nice things that someone put their heart and soul into. And this is definitely that.